Hello and welcome to a long overdue Sun Dragon tips and tricks video. I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in downtown Brevard, North Carolina. And it's been a while since y'all have seen one of these. A heads up that this is not going to be a techniques video. And that's because I got sick last month. That's part of it. There's multiple reasons y'all haven't seen a tips and tricks video for a while. Last fall, I did a top-down stranded colorwork yoke make-along, and we switched for a short period of time, for a few months, to a lecture series online, and it went really well, and I was so excited about it, and I didn't want to give up on these videos, but I wanted to have a chance for people to interact with me as well. And those, these are my time too, but those had a fee associated with them. You got the recordings afterwards. We still have people who are buying the recordings even though they weren't able to attend, and they get access to the same resources. Anyway, I'm not looking to switch to a full model like that. I know how popular my ranunculus videos have been. I still want to be offering these free access YouTube videos. Two things happened at the end of that series. The first one was we had an opportunity to move the shop. That's probably the last time I put a video out, when I was asking for people to help. And that was awesome and took so much of our energy, and we were exhausted and we were excited, and that shop is still absolutely amazing, and we're so happy we did that. About a month later, Liz and I both caught COVID for the first time since COVID appeared as a thing. We've been really careful, but we've been backing off and doing more with our air filters, and maybe our air filters needed to be replaced sooner than they were, or just luck of the draw, right? And I am always about being honest and authentic with y'all. And it's hard for me to say I got a bad case because I didn't end up in the hospital, but I definitely didn't have a cold. It was actually the day before I tested positive that I was going to put a video out like I'm doing right now, in a way of saying, hey, I want to start getting back into making videos. What would y'all like videos on? And I've put out that plea before, or that request. And I didn't have the energy that day. I couldn't even sit down and film a video, and I thought that was weird. I found out why the next day. So we had to close the shop for a while. I almost didn't get to go see my family for Christmas because it took me 12 days to test negative. I didn't leave my house for 10 days. I had people delivering me food that I was going in and maybe ordering online and stuff, and it was rough. It didn't go in my lungs. I'm not going to be hacking up while I'm trying to teach y'all and everything. But this is a month and a half later, and I'm still struggling with energy, with headaches and joint pain, with stuff that I'm hoping will continue to get better. But I haven't even been able to do classes at the shop. I've done one-on-one help and maybe some drop-in help, which means multiple people. One appointment a day, and it has left me wiped out. I have this cute new haircut now, and I have some cute new clothes. So everyone says, we're so glad you're better and rested and have your energy back. And it's still not totally there yet. So I just want to let y'all know the proof of life. Hello. But I'm trying to take my own advice. I think I referenced this mug on, not the mug itself. The mug is a new acquisition that Liz got me. I'm going to take a sip because I haven't had my coffee yet this morning. This is one of my favorite phrases to say. I made a video about life lessons from crochet, and one of them was take your time. Don't rush. And what I tell everybody in my lessons, I pull my life lessons that come into crochet and spill over and knitting and spill over to this channel. I pulled them from The Princess Bride because that was my favorite movie of all time when I was younger. And my phrase for telling people to slow down and not go too fast is when Miracle Max says, "You rush your miracle, man, you get rotten miracles." So I am trying to take my own advice. I am trying to slow down. It is really hard. Sometimes my body is forcing me to shut down. I am trying to heed my sister's advice. If I try to go too fast, my recovery may take even longer. It's hard not to feel like I've done that to myself when I don't have the energy to do the things that I want to do. So, sip of coffee. I do want to get back into making videos for y'all. When I made the ranunculus series of videos is when I was going 120%. I was filming not only on my day off, I was filming during the week so I could keep people going. I had no idea people would still be using those videos 2 years later, and I think that's amazing. That just like rocks my world every time. That's awesome. So I'm here to tell you about some of the plans I have for this year if my energy comes back, which, knock on wood. I'm every week I'm a little better, but it's such a little, it's hard to be like, I'm better, yay. I also don't want to be whining and complaining all the time. So I'm getting it out in this video because I feel like a broken record at work and it's really frustrating. So, I've pushed off the make-alongs. Usually we have one in the winter that has already started in January, and we do a winter one and a spring one. It's like every 3 months, and then we do a summer one and a fall one, and then it's like Christmas time and everything's kind of crazy. We're not doing a winter one this year because I can't. I'm hoping by March I will be feeling better enough that we could do a brioche series. And now I've already made videos on brioche, and I will probably be doing the lecture series again, where it's you pay for the series, and the videos or the lessons I'm thinking of right now, how would it break it down, is brioche in the round, which I think is an easier way to learn the brioche technique. It's really cool. It looks like ribbing, like 2-color brioche especially. It looks like really squishy ribbing that is reversible with a different color dominant on either side. And learning it in the round, each color has one job. And so the first lesson would be brioche in the round. These would be more on techniques of brioche rather than steps in a sweater, right? The second lesson, we would be making swatches. This is COVID brain. I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. But hopefully by March, I'll be more organized. The second lesson would be brioche flat, where you're turning the work. And that is a little more complicated. But if you have the basics of brioche in the round, brioche flat is easier. I'm not sure in which order these will happen, but I want to then also have lessons on brioche increasing and decreasing. They may be the same lesson, they may not. And fixing your mistakes in brioche. I cannot fix all mistakes, but I have some really good tips on fixing mistakes in brioche. And all of these, I think it behooves itself to do them with swatches. So there might be like prep work if you wanted to try things along with me. Now, a lot of the lecture series I did last year, people just listened and they asked questions at the end. And it worked really, really well. If I can make it a 5 series, I might do a 5 lesson series. I might do the same thing as I did with the sweaters, where it was for the price of 4, you could get all 5. I'm not sure if I can do a 3 for 4. Most of these sessions would be $25 a piece. full disclosure, I have already made brioche videos on a lot of these topics, and they are already on my tips and tricks channel. They're older, so I might have found some new tricks out. I don't know if I'll have a chance to update those videos, but I've got a couple different series because we did a brioche make along a couple years ago. But this would be a chance to listen, watch in real time if you're there, and ask questions. The way we did that, the way that really worked for us was everybody was on mute and they put questions in the chat. And if Liz was there, she helped me kind of answer as we went or at the end. I found it was a really good, it was still interactive, but it wasn't complete chaos. So that is spring brioche. And then I believe what I wanted to do was in summer do a crochet along corner to corner. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a lecture series on that or just some videos. And then in the fall, I think I was going to do lace. Now I could be, again, COVID brain. I could be misremembering those. They're in my newsletter, and I've tried to post them on the Facebook Make Along page. Now the lace one for knitting, to go back to knitting, that has potential to have another lecture series where we're learning about, I might have a short list of patterns, but we're learning about what makes lace functional, what makes it pretty. It's going to combine a whole lot of different skills, increasing and decreasing, and how to have that look like you're making flowers and vines and things. You all know that my series are never on only one, like the ranunculus was the only one, but you still needed the pattern, right? It's not usually on only one pattern, and I give you everything you need in the video because a lot of really well-written patterns are out there and they're worth the money because the pattern writers have put a lot of work into them. But being able to understand those patterns and work with those patterns can make you feel so much more powerful, empowered, and just able to create these beautiful things. And it's like people put a lot of work into them because they're good at what they do. The ones that are, like, not all patterns are equal, but there's a lot of really good ones out there. And I am a super huge fan of using someone's pattern, crediting them. You've probably seen that on my channels. Someone else put in this hard work, and that's great because my forte is not in creating original masterpieces. It is reproducing the patterns and having it look beautiful and showing you all what you can do with the yarn and what you are capable of. So back to this. Trying not to rush. I'm hoping by holiday time, we might be able to do some basics and skills and small projects and things like that. I don't know what will be online or not. I'm always open to ideas of videos I haven't made yet. Sometimes I've made a video and it's so old and buried in the feed of videos I've made, no one knows it's there. And maybe it's time for a redo. Maybe it's time to do a 2.0 on it. Because it'll be ever present in your YouTube feeds, and I might have picked up a couple more tricks and I might be a little better at what I do at this point. So feel free to comment below if you would like something specific, but please know if you're asking about a really specific pattern and hoping I can work the miracle of the ranunculus, there's a couple of things there. I've done a whole video on why that's challenging, but also everyone has a different pattern that they are really excited about. And it's hard to do it with such care to the author as with the ranunculus, because the author actually did a really good job with that one of breaking it into sections in a way that I could do it without hurting her authorship, if that makes sense. But if there's certain techniques that have you stumped, I am always all about the techniques and helping you figure those out. And if it's a universal enough pattern, a lot of people are doing it, that might very well be a reason to get in there and do some helpful videos. If at this point, I know I'm pausing a lot in this video, and thank you all for your patience. as COVID brain is, I'm trying to track what I want to say and get across here, and I'm gonna forget stuff. But if there is a really popular pattern, one thing is a lot of pattern writers have their own videos out there, and I don't mean to like replace them. If there's a really cool pattern out there that you think my videos would be a good assist on, I'm entering the arena of being popular enough, I think, that I would want permission from the pattern writer. I'd love to do collaborations with pattern writers. A lot of pattern writers at this point, if they are tech savvy, have their own videos. And so it's kind of hard without their permission to do mine as well. And sometimes their videos, even if, like what I found as a former teacher, is different terminology and different lingo and different techniques of teaching work for different brains who are watching and listening. And that's challenging if a pattern writer already has videos out there. They'll say, but I already have videos. And it's the working relationship of saying, well, videos from a different perspective, as long as they are respectful of the pattern, can actually encourage more people to buy that pattern. So, but not everyone is going to be okay with that. And I fully respect that. I do not have a problem with that. I'm not going to argue and fight that. So if you know of a pattern, or if you reach out to a pattern writer and they want to collaborate with me on something, I am over the moon to try to do that. The only hang up for me right now is energy levels. Running the shop right now is sometimes challenging. Liz and I have had to go home early quite a few days in the past couple of weeks. I am going to, if I make it to 9 o'clock at night, it's a miracle. It's more often than not 7 or 8 o'clock is my bedtime right now. And that is challenging because that's usually when I get to do work on my patterns, like not my personal patterns, but knitting things often doesn't happen at the shop because there's so many other things that have to happen there. So I know this could come across as a whiny video, and I don't want it to be that. I just wanted to update y'all where I am and how things are going. And we are now Liz and I are back to doing one sit and stitch. This is not instructional time, but this is hangout time. If you want to do that, we're doing one a week where we used to do two, and it's only 1 hour where it used to be 2 hours every time. That's Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, US Eastern time. If you wanted to join us on Zoom, in the Zoom app, you put in the code, which is the meeting code is our shop phone number, which is 828-877-3550. And we have continued to do our once a month Sunday afternoon sit and stitch on Facebook Live and also Zoom with that same phone number. But we used to do 4 hours. We did marathon runs on lots of things. And I think it's going to be February 11th. It happens to be Super Bowl Sunday. But we're down to 2 hours, 2 to 4. No, yes. It used to be 1 to 5. Now it's 2 to 4. When I do the lecture series, I did them last fall on Sundays from 1 to 3. And that was so it could catch the largest number of people in the most time zones. It wouldn't work for people who are completely opposite us. But for people in Europe and other places, there's a chance for them to attend because it might have only been evening for them instead of middle of the night. So it's hard to find a time that works for everybody. And I wish I could do them more than once. But even once is challenging. So I'm going to sign off. This was long and kind of rambling, but again, it was to update you where I am. And as I always like to say, may your crafting be filled with joy and confidence. That is my goal, and I will try to keep it going if I can. My love to you all, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.